glad to be here today. We had an amazing week, and the biggest thing that we talked about was, of course, the candidate Q&A session that was conducted at the International Center for Trade on this Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. It was very well attended. The candidates that were there were amazing. The audience was supportive. Everything was civil. It lasted exactly for 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I think the people in attendance learned a lot about the individuals that are vying for different city council positions and for the mayor. It opened my eyes as to who the candidates are. And I hope after viewing this that it opens your eyes too to see who our candidates are that are going to be representing the community of Eagle Pass. It was very well executed, and like I said, it was very well attended. So we hope that you enjoy this program. Understand that the Eagle Pass Border Coalition, along with the Eagle Pass Business Journal, the Elm Creek Parkway Coalition, and the Eagle Pass Digital Art Society decided to bring this as an educational and informational event. We need to be informed. We need to be updated about who our candidates are. And we're hoping that if you get a chance, you'll join us on April the 2nd for the next event, which will be a mayoral debate between the three candidates running for mayor, which is Monica J. Cruz, Jesus Casas, and Aaron Valdez. We hope to see you there. Thank you for your time. Enjoy.
The Elm Creek Parkway Coalition and the Eagle Pass Digital Art Society, most of them nonprofit organizations, we want to welcome you to this incredible event. It's a first, and hopefully it's not the last. We've got several of them lined up before the elections. I tell you, over the last couple of years, Eagle Pass has been in the limelight, and our leaders have stepped up. And first of all, I want to thank our leaders for being here. Thank you very much. Our candidates, you're an inspiration, because it's not difficult. It's a very difficult thing to be a candidate, and you have to give of yourself a lot. And first of all, I want to thank you. I know that my partner, Mr. Jose Alonso Corpus, will continue with the introductions. But first of all, I want to mention that we are recorded to Eagle Pass Business Journal Live. We're also recording to a YouTube channel, but that's for rebroadcast. So there's going to be some rules that are explained. I know that as you came in, you registered, they gave you an agenda or the outline for today, and just the way we're going to proceed forward. I'll have my partner, Alonso Corpus, come in and give some information.
Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here this evening. And again, my name is Jose Alonso Corpus. I'm a volunteer member for the Eagle Pass Border Coalition, and we thought it would be a great event for our community. Start learning about our candidates, and an opportunity for you to ask questions as well. Our community is at a crossroads, and the choices that we make in the upcoming elections will change the future of Eagle Pass. This is why we're here tonight, not just to listen, but to engage and ask questions. What we want you to do is to make informed decisions about the leader that will represent us. We will sincerely appreciate all the candidates and leaders accepting our invitation this evening. So without your presence, we cannot make this happen. So thank you so much for being here tonight. So the forum, the purpose of the forum is based for a respectful dialogue between the candidate and the people they hope to serve. It's an opportunity for friends, neighbors, and family to come together and share concerns and hear directly from those taking the votes. As the host of this event, we want to be clear. We are a non-profit, non-partisan organization. We do not endorse or support any of the candidates at this stage. Our role is simply to provide a fair, a neutral, and welcoming space for conversation. This is the only purpose. We're not endorsing nobody. To keep things fair and organized, we have drafted a set of rules and community norms to maintain order, and I'm hoping that some of you already have the agenda. So we will have one person speak at a time. Interruptions, shouting, or speaking loud will not be permitted. You will be asked to leave, or you will be escorted out. We will not tolerate any type of a hostile environment throughout this event. So we will have a question, and we will be handing out index cards, right, which will be provided, and you can submit your question. The moderator will select and read this to ensure a broad range of topics, so we might have an opportunity to ask questions to our candidates. So the moderator is here to ensure that everybody is treated with respect and that the discussion stays on track. We ask that all of us, candidates and audience, and members alike, listen with open minds, engage in good faith, and help create an atmosphere of civil and constructive dialogue. So this is your chance to be part of the Chilean process here in the past, and we're hoping that we learn from our candidates and hoping that we select our best candidates. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Then I'm going to introduce my colleague, Mr. Ricardo Calderon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and candidates. We'd like to let you know that we did invite all of the candidates, and we want to thank those that were able to accept the invitation and join us today. Those who are here with us today does not indicate their lack of interest. However, they did have other personal commitments prior to this event being planned, or it is spring break, or they have some personal matters to take care of. However, we're going to have 3 of these forums. This is the first one, the first of its kind in Eagle Pass, where it's nonpartisan. We're going to leave all our partnership out that door, and we're here to engage in a lively community discussion, hear from the candidates. The candidates have been running, crisscrossing across the city limits, campaigning, block walking, and hosting different events, and they're excited to serve this community. And so we want to welcome them and again thank them so much for being here with us today. Our next event will be on April 2nd. That will be a mayoral debate between the 3 mayoral candidates. It will be here at the same time, 5:30 at the West Room at the ICT. And then our third event is going to be on April the 12th. That will be a town hall meeting, and that's going to be in the East Room here at the ICT. It's a much larger room than the one we have here. Muy buenas tardes, damas y caballeros y estimados candidatos. Bienvenidos aquí al Eagle Pass City Council election candidate question and answer session. So we're going to get started right away. We'd like to first introduce the candidates who are here with us today. For mayor, we have Mr. Jesus Casas, who is a CPA and also has his own business and is an investor in the community. Let's give him a big round of applause. Also accompanying us this evening for mayor, we have Mr. Aaron Valdez, who is a funeral director as well, an entrepreneur, has his own businesses, and is also an investor within the community. We want to welcome him. Thank you. Ms. Monica J. Cruz sent her regards that she wouldn't be able to attend due to previous commitments, but we also congratulate her on running for the position. Now, with regard to the City Council for Place 2, we have City Councilman Mr. Elias Diaz, who is here with us. also is manager at the Marion County Hospital District. Also with us is Mr. Hansen Utesi. Anesthesiast here at Fort Duncan Regional Medical Center, and we also thank them for being, both of them, here with us today. The other candidate for place 2 is Jorge Sierra. Advises that he had other commitments, wouldn't be able to join us today. Secondly, we also had Mr. Alberto Rodriguez, a federal attorney colleague, had a court hearing in El Paso, Texas, that he could not get it continued to be with us today. He was looking forward to it. Also, Ms. Jessica Ray Ramon also excused herself for not being able to be present. She had some personal matters to take care of, and also her spring break as a teacher. So, welcome, and let's get started. We're going to get started this forum by allowing each of the candidates a 2-minute presentation as to what is it that they would like to tell you, the voters of Eagle Pass, that they would like for you to know about them. We're going to start with our mayoral candidates. We're going to start by alphabetical order. We're going to go first with Mr. Jesus Casas. You may go, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Calderon. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and thank you, the candidates, because that shows transparency, and talking to the public and talking to the community. So sorry about those that couldn't make it. My name is Jesus Casas, and I'm a CPA. I'm a certified public accountant. I have some other businesses besides being a CPA. My main concern, here today is to answer in a form that is very transparent to the people of Eagle Pass, to the community, any questions that they might have about me, about my career, about my government experience, and not only that, but I'm an open book. So feel free to ask any questions that you may feel like knowing about me. My main concern and my main interest is to serve the best interest of the community. And this may sound too much of a political language into it, but to be honest with you, that's what I've shown in the past. And I do believe that that the community being here is because they're very interested in knowing each of the candidates here today. And that's why I thank each of them being here. And if there is anything that requires more time, we can always talk after our meeting today. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Casas. And now, Mr. Aaron Valdez.
Hello. So I'm going to go straight to it. I'm a born and raised Eagle Passanian. I only left Eagle Pass when I went to college. I came back to help my family business as a funeral director. And as service continued, I developed the first and only solar install company in the region, employing engineers, civil engineers, electrical engineers, and also technicians like master electricians, plumbers, journeymen within our community, and have been representing Eagle Pass in all the state of Texas. I was elected as a board member for the Marion County Hospital District in 2018. I was 19 years old. I've been a board member for 6 years. 4 of those elected chairman by different boards. And within those 6 years, we lowered taxes 19% while continuing the same specialty of not continuously bringing more specialty to our community. At the same time, diversifying and looking for different sources of revenue to continue the operations within Marion County Hospital District. At this time, I want to take that same leadership that I've implemented within my businesses and the Marion County Hospital District and take it to our city, manage our expenses and investments while we focus on things that I've seen the community ask, which would be public safety, streets, and jobs. I really want to work with council, guide the city manager, and create a better Eagle Pass that we know we can have, because it has that potential to be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valdez. And now to our City Council candidate. We'll go first with City Council Member Elias Diaz.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elias Diaz, and I have the honor and the privilege of running for re-election for City Council Person Place 2. Over the past 5 years, I've had the honor to serve not just with policies, but with purpose. Not just by leading, but also by leading with heart. And I know that for most of you that are here, you may have heard of this coming from me before. I often talk about we can invest into our streets, into our bridges, we can invest into our businesses, we can invest into so much of the infrastructure that happens at the citywide level. But if we do not invest into our people, our community will not be able to move forward. Our residents will not be able to enjoy those parks. Our residents will not be able to live happy, full, productive, healthy lives. And so for this coming term, I am committed to building on the foundation that we've built on for the past 5 years. I am looking towards the future, and my vision towards the future includes creating a nonprofit incubator to help bring people together and help other people to develop services that we don't currently have in town. I want to make sure that we bring jobs that are non-existent here in the community at this point. Jobs that center around social services and target those people that are early on in their careers, that we can bring them back to Eagle Pass so that we can keep our families together. I want to develop a child prevention task force because I believe that protecting families should not be an afterthought. It should be at the center of our mission. I also want to make sure that we continue to develop protections for domestic violence survivors and continue to provide access to mental health and healthcare services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diaz. And next we have with us Mr. Hanson Utesi, who is a nurse anesthetist at the Fort Duncan Regional Medical Center, who will speak next. Thank you.
I'll be standing up if you don't mind. Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello. So before I tell you about myself, I'd like to greet everyone a good evening. For the people of Eagle Pass, I'm happy that you're here. If you are from Eagle Pass, please give yourself a round of applause. You can clap it for us, so it's not for you. Okay, one more time. So my name is Hanson Uitesi. I'm a husband and a father of 4. I came to the United States under a working visa year 1995, and my first job was a nurse at a detention facility. A couple of years later, I moved to Del Rio, worked there as a medical surgical nurse, and then a few years later, I decided to pursue my graduate degree, Masters of Science in Nurse Anesthesia, graduated 2003 in University of Texas Health Science Center in Houston, and practiced a couple of years in Houston at a major facility. And in 2005, I made a major decision, a big one. I came here to a friendly place, City of Eagle Pass. Since then, every day that I work, hand in hand with surgeons, nurses, or techs, we strive to deliver the best care possible for surgical patients that need anesthesia, obstetrics, women care, and until today, that's what I mainly do. It's difficult to tell you about myself in a short amount of time, so I encourage everyone, if you have a computer or phone, I'm just going to raise my name here. I'm on Google Review. You can look me up under Hanson Uitesi CRNA. If you like or trust the person on the review, that's the same person standing here in front of you, and appreciate and humbly ask for your support on this coming election. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Utesi. Appreciate that comment. We're going to get started with a list of questions. Some of you have written questions prior to coming in. We've received those questions, and we're going to mix them up with the questions that the committee had put together. So the very first question is let's start with the mayor candidates. Is why are you running for mayor of the city of Eagle Pass? Mr. Casas.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Calderon. Why am I running for mayor? I do believe Eagle Pass has the potential and has the people to drive this to the next level. I've seen in the previous years that previous administrations have that power to actually take us to the next level, but somehow have decided not to do it. I'm not criticizing, anyone in specific. I'm just trying to say that there's a lot of potential. We believe that we can bring a lot of economic growth. I believe that we can actually help with the taxes, that the taxpayers here in Eagle Pass and Maverick County are paying. I do believe that a lot of people, they're not happy with what they're paying, but I believe what it upsets us the most is the fact that we are wasting, abusing that power of spending at the government level. I do believe that my experience in accounting, bookkeeping, auditing, and budgets and all that, we should be able to question more about the different expenses, about the different projects, because I do believe that that spending is being abused. And if we can control that spending in a good way, then we can spend more in more projects that might help the community achieve, its full potential. So that's one of the main reasons that I'm here. I think Eagle Pass is full of great people, and yes, there's always exceptions, to the rule, but I do believe that with the right people, we should be able to advance very, very closely to create this potential from happening in the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Casas. And now, Mr. Aaron Valdez will go. As why are you running for mayor of the city of Eagle Pass, Mr. Valdez?
So again, yes, I'm born and raised here in Eagle Pass. I left and actually came back. I love Eagle Pass. At the hospital district, I believe we've really done amazing progress. And I've seen how new board members come into our board, and I've really seen how much value we've added. And I'm speaking about Dr. Bernal, Dr. Chisholm, young doctors putting their own perspective. I have our CEO, Nestor Bonilla, really taking that new concept of being CEO while having all that experience. And I see how healthy MCHD is and how much potential it has. But that same love that I have for Eagle Pass, and I see situations rising, and I see that our current mayor, Rolando Salinas, is not going to get reelected. I see a lack of leadership when he leaves. I know he has the best interest of Eagle Pass at heart, and I feel like Eagle Pass needs good leadership now more than ever to grow the way we know we can. We have that potential to be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valdez. And now, City Councilman Elias Diaz, why is it that you're seeking re-election for the city of Eagle Pass?
I'm seeking re-election. I actually have a lot of different reasons for wanting to stay in this seat. But I think at the core of why I want to continue to do this, it's a very selfish reason. And that reason is I'm a resident of Eagle Pass. I live here. And before I'm a politician, I'm a resident first, right? I want to make this community better because I live here. For 12 years, I was away from this community. And those 12 years, I was separated from my family. I was separated from my family, and when I came back and I started to look around and I started to compare, right, Eagle Pass to the places that I had lived before, and I started to notice all of those things that I felt We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to catch up to other communities. And while I'm doing that work and while I'm trying to catch up, sometimes the work gets really difficult. And while it gets difficult and just at the time that I feel like I'm going to quit, I think, how many people have quit before me? How many people have given up on this town and have felt it's not worth it? I think it's worth it. I think it's worth me staying here. I think it's worth me investing. I think it's worth me taking all of these jobs because my family's here. And I want to keep families together.
And now, Mr. Utesi, what is it that you're running for the City Council of Lakeshore?
The number one reason why I'm running for City Council is property taxes. Everyone here probably has their own interpretation of property taxes, but I think we can all agree that we pay a lot of money for property taxes. And I'm glad to hear that Eagle Pass hasn't raised property taxes for a while now. And I want to be a voice in the community and be fortunate to be elected as City Council to keep our property taxes down. But in order to keep doing that, we also have to do a lot of things. We have to invite businesses here. We have to invite people from even people that are living outside the city limits to come in and build their property here, their home, their businesses, or people even from outside of Maverick County. And how can we do that? So I've done some research. Some areas here in the United States are offering incentives for people to come in, as much as $5, $10, $15, $20,000 for people to come in. But we don't have to just incentivize the people from outside. We here that live here, maybe we can look at the feasibility of incentivizing first-time home buyers. Maybe we could reduce taxes or have some sort of a rebate when they buy their properties, whether it's personal property or another property, up to a certain number of years. We can also incentivize people that buy local. We all buy from Amazon, right? And I don't think Amazon pays us anything. So it's also been, a program in other states here in the United States that local. If you buy local, you are given incentive for doing that. So if we want to see Eagle Pass progress, I think we have to buy Eagle Pass. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tessie. Now, Eagle Pass is at the threshold of reaching dynamic economic development in the community. But it has a lot of challenges that are facing it. And so we would like to ask each and every one of you, this time we're going to start here with the City Council table first to give our mayor candidates an opportunity to take a breath. However, what are the top 3 issues that you see in the city of Eagle Pass? What are the most urgent 3 issues facing the city of Eagle Pass today and tomorrow?
So, from my point of view, I think top issue number 1 would be public safety. As many of you know, my career is centered around developing our public safety, our firefighters, and our civil service workforce, making sure that we equip them and we give them the capacity that they need to respond to the issues at hand in this community. We have a firefighter ratio that I've been talking about that serves the city residents, but also the county residents. and we staff according to a city of 30,000 people when it's actually a county of 60,000. So I want to make sure that we do our part to make sure that we continue to advocate for adequate services so that residents in our community, and that community includes the county, making sure that people have access to public health and safety. I also want to make sure that we ensure public health for all of our community members. We just crossed over and we are now a metropolitan area. We're a metropolitan area that does not have a public health department. Without a public health department, there's no data to get the services that we need into town. There's no compliance efforts to deal with our local health agencies. There's no efforts to be able to bring more services into this community that we desperately need. And the third issue is offering community support, making sure that we give our neediest residents the things that they need. And based on the things that I've been noticing in the community, there's a void there. There's gaps in our service systems. And I think with those three issues, we would have a better difference.
Mr. Kutesi, what do you see are the three most urgent issues facing the city of Eagle Pass today in July?
I think my colleagues here have identified most of them, so I have two, and then one maybe just something that the community might like to see or enjoy. And the first two are economics. As I have mentioned, property taxes is a burden to everyone, and with downturn in economy, people losing jobs or people not earning the way they are earning in the past, it would greatly help people if our property tax is reduced. That's number one. Number two are good paying jobs. I think you cannot just get good paying jobs just because you wish for it or you talk about it. There has to be a concerted effort. We have to grow our community, and that brings back to incentivizing people to come here and live here. If we are a community of 40 or 50,000, we will not see a lot of big businesses here because there's not just enough buying power for just big businesses to be interested to come in. So we have to grow our community by incentivizing people to come and live in Eagle Pass from the county, from outside of Maverick County. And then when these things happen, we will slowly see bigger companies becoming interested in coming here. And then the city could make a deal with them even to make it more attractive for these companies to come here and stay here. And the third one, I think we lack entertainment here in Eagle Pass. A lot of people, including myself, when the weekend comes, you want to go somewhere, but the somewhere is like 90% outside of Eagle Pass. So we want to think about that, and when the community grows, of course, entertainment industry will flourish. But if we keep the community small like this, I've been here for 20 years, and the population then and now is just about 10,000, from 20 years before. So economics, number one. Number two, property taxes, good paying jobs, a car company, incentivize people to live here, and then create entertainment here in Eagle Pass. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tesi. And now we'll turn to our mayoral candidates. We'll start first with Mr. Jesus Casas.
Can I stand? I feel more comfortable.
Okay. This is your forum. This is the public forum. This is your opportunity to speak to the people of Eagle Pass and to vote.
It's just that I feel more comfortable.
Sure.
Three things that I believe is very important. Number one, we need to work and see, how we can help the vulnerable groups. According to my readings from the Bible, we see that children, we see that widows, We see that old people, and we see that those that are sick, need our most support. I'm not saying that there's people, outside those groups that don't need support. I'm just saying those are the most vulnerable, because I believe, that we should be taking care of them. And how are we going to be taking care of them? Well, collaborating with the different entities that we have here. We have the Maury County, we have the Maury County Hospital District, we have the Eagle Pass Independent School District. So we see issues sometimes, or opportunities, if you want to see it, from that perspective, that we can help. There is a children, that are having issues at home, something is going on, some abuse or something. I mean, we need to collaborate with the Eagle Pass Independent School District to make sure, that we serve the same people. There's different functions, on all these different entities, but we serve the same people. So we can collaborate and help those children, How about, those people that are sick, those people that are elderly? Well, we need to collaborate with the Maury County. There is any programs, available. There is going to be anything that we can help, those people that are sick with the Maury County Hospital District, with the Fort Duncan Regional Medical Center, different nonprofits, like Candles for Life, people that actually need, support with the cancer. So there is so many organizations out there that we can help, and they, in return, can help us more because they have a lot of volunteers. Maybe I just have 1 or 2 people, in a department, but maybe these nonprofits have 5, 10, 20 volunteers that can help us out. And that's one of the things that I believe is one of the most important issues. Another of this is the economic growth. I mean, City of Eagle Pass, as you mentioned, Mr. Calderon, is actually running right now in a period of time where there is a lot of development. There is a lot of businesses coming in regards to nearshoring, which is, something that has to do with the manufacturing business, with the storage, and all these different things that are booming as we speak. So we need to be ready. We need to be ready, infrastructurally speaking. We need to be ready for them. We need to be ready to spend money on those issues that will help those investors come and invest in Eagle Pass, so more job creations are here. And finally, if we get to, administer the taxes the right way, then our spending will be more efficient in order to bring more investors, in order to bring more services, in order to create a better infrastructure, and so many other things that can be done if we can control and spend the money in a very efficient way. That's what I'm here for, and thank you very much.
And now we'll go to Mr. Aaron Valdez. Mr. Valdez, what are the top 3 issues that you see that facing the city of Pass today and tomorrow?
I think I keep it pretty general, pretty simple on my platform. Public safety, streets, and jobs. I feel with good public safety, good street, we get good jobs, and with good leadership, I just don't see why a city couldn't flourish amazingly through that good process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Valdez. Now, we're going to go to the next question. Given the complexities of border politics and their direct impact on our border community of Eagle Pass, how do you intend to promote transparency in the decision-making and at the city of Eagle Pass, and how do you enhance public engagement to ensure that resident voices are heard in the matters affecting the city? I'll give you an example. The City Council on May 7th of 2024 approved the 3rd reading of the Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone, number 1 for the City of Eagle Pass. And that is a project that had been at City Hall for over 2 years. However, they did not have any public meetings or town halls until a local newspaper raised that issue, the lack of transparency with the taxpayers. And they held one on December of 2023 in this same room. And it was held because it had been raised to their attention. But that was a significant investment by the city of Eagle Pass. The city grew its city limits by 38%. They brought in close to almost 2,300 acres to the city limits. That is going to be multi-use real estate development, which is good for the city of Eagle Pass. However, the city is going to have to provide services. They're going to have to provide public safety, police, fire protection, ambulance protection. They're going to need to do city maintenance, public works, and they're all going to have to do, we're going to need more firefighters, more policemen, more public works, more ambulances, and so forth and so forth. So it's growing. So we have that growth. But there is a lack of transparency. And what was interesting is that the city council had not done its homework and had not read the financial analysis of that project. And it still got approved despite citizens going to the meetings and telling them to renegotiate that project or to decline it. But there's a lack of transparency in city public government. So let's start with Mr. Casas. What would you do to enhance and promote transparency in the decision making at the city of Eagle Pass?
Well, again, we need to make sure that we understand the investors. We are pro-investors, we are pro-business, and we want to attract them. But you got to understand one thing, their main objective when they're investors is the profitability of their project. And that profitability, is good because they can reinvest, and that creates more jobs. But you got to understand that the government objective is accountability. So that means we need to sit down, negotiate, in good terms. And like I always say, it's a win-win for both of us. It's a win for the investors because we want to attract them, we want to keep them, and we want to make sure that the investors, come in the near future with more friends, that want to invest here in Eagle Pass. But then at the same time, if I'm not defending the city interest, then there's going to be an issue. And because there's going to be an issue here, who's going to be the ones that are going to be paying for all that? Taxpayers, of course. No one else. If you make a bad decision at the city level, it's the taxpayers that will be affected. So what I'm proposing is, if they have something to say, about a business, why not keeping it open? Why not being transparent about it? Why not saying, let me see your financial projections. Let me see what I, as a mayor, can contribute into this negotiation. What about the council people that is with me? They need to be together so we can make a very informed decision. And if I'm lacking some knowledge because maybe someone wants to create a manufacturing company with a lot of engineers and I don't know something about engineering, I might bring some people that are experts, into the topic so that they can provide me with some advice on how to make the best decision for who? Who am I representing? The people of Eagle Pass, the city of Eagle Pass. So I'm there not to be representing the investors. I'm there to represent the city of Eagle Pass community, but at the same time, I need to take care of those investors because, remember, they want profitability and we need accountability. And because of that, we want to make sure that it's a win-win for both of them. That's how transparency will work. Thank you.
Mr. Valdez, if you will please let us know, how would you promote transparency in the decision-making process at the city of Eagle Pass with its taxpayers?
Okay, just so I understand the question correct, this was This is regarding just transparency.
Transparency, that is letting the public know what's happening at the city hall, at the city council meetings, what projects are coming down the pipeline, having town hall meetings like this one here today, so that the people are educated and informed, so that they can also give you at the city council feedback about whether they like it or dislike it, or so. So what would you do at city council to enhance transparency in the city?
So yes, well, I wasn't there for that specific situation, but I completely condone full transparency with the community. I feel like as we progress, we have more availability of residential outreach. And now we have Facebook, we have mailers, we have news media where we can really try to get that outreach directly to the residents. We have artificial intelligence that we can implement in social media and try to have all our community engaged in social media. And it's easier to have a pull on any decision making within our community. So yes, there's many areas that we can really facilitate that transparency and engagement with our community.
Now we'll go to Mr. Elias Diaz, Councilman Elias Diaz. What would you do to enhance transparency in the city's decision-making process?
I think as city leaders, one of our primary responsibilities is to educate the public on the benefits of growth and where our growth is headed for our community. Sometimes when we look at progress, when we look at different ideas for progress, there's so many opinions that come to the table. And if any of you have served in any type of leadership position, you might find yourself in a situation where you know that you can't please everybody. Right? Part of our responsibility as a leader is to educate the general public on how to best move forward. What does the greater good look like? Because what's good for me might not be good for all of the community. And so I think that part of what we're trying to do at the city council level, you can take, for example, I know you were part of our metropolitan planning organization meetings, having community input in everything from our designs to our roads to our downtown master plan, engaging community residents in multiple ways. Education comes in many different forms, right? Sometimes we have to show our community what progress looks like. And maybe showing what progress looks like comes in the form of a visual. Maybe it comes in the form of an interactive charade. Maybe you come in and you talk to us and we have one-on-one discussions. Maybe there's Facebook Lives, right? Maybe there's town halls. There's so many different approaches to gather community input and feedback so that we can build a better Eagle Pass together.
Now we'll go Mr. Otesi. Mr. Otesi, what would you do to promote transparency with the local citizens and the city?
Thank you, Attorney Calderon. So we have different outlets that people may prefer to be informed. We have TV, radio, newspapers, social media. So if you were to ask me, I want to use all of them. Use all media outlets, all social media, all radio, all TV stations. When we are announcing, when we want people to know, there should be nothing that we would skip. We want to inform everyone, and that's what we do. But more so than transparency, I think the questions that need to be answered are not just what are we doing, but why are we doing something and when will it be done? And also the ability of the people in Eagle Pass to object to such project. So the bigger concern that I have is, maybe along with transparency, is getting into bad deals. When somebody gets into a bad deal, the more that they want to hide it from the eyes of the public. So if we can make deals that are not bad for the city of Eagle Pass, I think we are open to be transparent with it. It's only when you're hiding something, trying to make a deal, quick sign, quick approval, that you would not want the public to know. So I don't like that. That's why with transparency, I think you need to not answer just what we are doing, but why you are doing something. And then there should be a space, we'll all figure it out, for the community to object to such project. It's not that easy because some projects, of course, have deadlines. But if we rush into deals, you always miss something.
The city of Eagle Pass has the hardest working people that I've ever seen. I've been to San Antonio, I've been to Philadelphia, I've been to New York City, and there's none better than the people of Eagle Pass. They're the hardest working citizens. Despite their industriousness, our community, Eagle Pass, remains among the top 20 communities in the country with the lowest median income. Also has among the 20 low-income community. Also with a high rate of diabetes, underserved medical doctors, professionals, specialists. And I know that we have organizations here that are working on that. So there is a tremendous need for this community. And yet we're very blessed that we are strategically located at the U.S.-Mexico International Border. So I would like to ask the candidates, what 3 goals would you have to increase or bring economic development to the city of Eagle Pass? We'll start with Mr. Casas.
Okay. Let me get the question ahead.
What 3 ideas or goals would you recommend or do to bring increased economic development for the community of Eagle Pass?
Okay. So, I'm an investor in real estate, and one of the main things that we're seeing is that at the planning department, probably Mr. Elias knows a little bit more on this, since he's the only candidate that's sitting there. Planning department is a good department, don't get me wrong. It's just that we do believe that that the planning department is taking too long to sometimes approve land development, different developments, and that creates, a very high need. And going back to what Mr. Hanson was saying, taxes are going up because the demand is there, but the supply is not there. So one of the things that we're gonna create is, number one, is we need to bring the companies, bring the outside investors, but making sure that we as city collaborate with the school district, with the Maverick County, with the hospital district, so that we can provide some tax breaks so that they can come and incentivize those companies to come and establish, their businesses here. But the main thing in us doing that, because we have the power and the need to do it, is actually to tell these companies, what are we getting, in exchange for that? What we would like to make in exchange for that, why don't you get us, better paying jobs? I mean, we're trying to make these companies come and have tax breaks and have so many permits being moved faster than usual because we want to attract those investors, but at the same time, what is it that we're getting in return? Not only the investment, but actually telling them, hey, I really would like for you guys to help us out and get jobs that at least pays, $10 an hour. Right now, the minimum wage is around $7.65 or $8. So let's bring those companies and say, I need for you to, bring the salaries up in the industry that you belong. But not only that, make sure we have a plan that those employees that stay there for a period longer than 6 months or a year get better paid rates, and increase that household income. With that household income, we're going to be buying more properties, we're going to be having more developments, we're going to be having more businesses open, because we have more restaurants, we have more purchasing power. So that's how you create, more economic development in making sure that we help the industries, but at the same time, what are we getting in return? We're getting in return better salaries, better pay rates. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Casas. And now we'll have Mr. Valdez who will speak as to what are his goals for bringing more economic development to the city of El Paso.
Well, I think Accountant Mr. Casas touched on very detailed subjects. I first and foremost think we need economic development director, and definitely find the best way to attract businesses with incentives that really do not affect us as much, but bring businesses to our community to help us with our sales tax. We have to understand that we do have the port of entry, and we do have our bridges that help bring in revenue, so it should be very attractive to our community, or to investors. So we, if anything, find the best way to market Eagle Pass, because it pretty much sells itself. But we have to make sure we actually close those deals. Right? Not only reach out and try to bring investors to Eagle Pass, but solidify those deals. Because we know we have, for a long period of time, it's just an example, Olive Garden is coming, and it's still in the pipeline. But we just have to solidify these projects that have interest in investing into Eagle Pass. It's just having good follow through.
All right. Okay, now we'll go to our city council candidate, Mr. Diaz. What would you do to attract more economic development for Eagle Pass?
I think first and foremost, we have to expand our view of what economic development looks like. So you spoke to a very important point regarding our health professional shortage. We consistently see the communities that have higher rates of poverty also have higher rates of chronic diseases. Maury County, along with every single county north of us and south of us, all the way up to San Antonio and down to Laredo, include communities that are health professional shortage areas. I think a key part of economic development includes medical workforce development. Developing our medical workforce at the local level. During my first term and my second term, I was proud to support Medical Workforce 1.0, Medical Workforce 2.0, and for my next term, I really want to focus on Medical Workforce 3.0, bringing healthcare professionals and their teams into our communities to serve our communities. We're still lacking different specialties, including pulmonologists. We need more cardiologists, more endocrinologists. We have so many key specialties that we're still missing in town. And so through my first term, we were able to collect some data on the pressing needs for the community. Things that the community had said to us. We collected over 1,000 survey responses that let us know what medical workforce. Doctors in our community, we also need medical staff members in our community. So through Medical Workforce 1.0, we started to provide scholarships so that some of our community members could enter low barrier residency programs like 3-month medical programs to be a medical assistant. That way people could develop job development and job security in our community and continue to stay and serve our community while also improving the health of our residents. I'm also interested in developing a nonprofit incubator where we take different ideas and we develop our community, we develop our skills to boost up our capacity to serve our own people. We have the majority of our industries are outside agencies that are serving Eagle Pass, and they're not serving Eagle Pass in the way that we need to be served. So I think we need to develop our community, to develop not just the economic side, but also the social services side, boost up those services.
All right, thank you. Betsy, what would you recommend for the bring to attract economic development to the city of Eagle Pass?
Thank you for the question. I think I would be telling you half truth if the city council, the mayor, any one of us here can solve this issue by ourselves. It's got to be a partner with the community. As I mentioned earlier, we need to have more people here, and we need to support the businesses in Eagle Pass. If we keep buying from outside of Eagle Pass, or we keep spending our money outside of Eagle Pass, like we work here, right? And we work 5 days a week. And then we take that money and spend in San Antonio the weekend, the money will not circulate here. So the truth is, I love for this community to grow, but in order to grow, we need to support our own community. But what the city can do is offer incentives for people to stay, people to come in. And when we have a population that is bigger than what it is right now, we will easily attract investors. And when we have something to offer the investors, they are willing to negotiate with us, not us giving away everything for them to come in. When we do that, when you don't have a card, then you are at the mercy of these big companies and big investors. We, maybe in the beginning we are like that, but we don't want to stay like this. We want to be at the level of cities that don't have to, buy, in layman's term, buy investors to come in and join us. So with that said, I think the first thing we need to do, I'm sure we all love our community. I've been here for 20 years. Many of you have been here a lot longer than I've been. So if you don't love your community, you went somewhere else already. But we love our community, so we need to help our community. And it would be a citywide effort to make this thing happen. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Uchesi. Now, we're going to ask questions from the public that someone filled out. And that is a question that the city of Eagle Pass owns 2 international bridges. Bridge 1 is strictly a pedestrian and a regular vehicle traffic bridge, and it's only open from certain hours. It's not fully operational. Bridge 2 is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days. And that is the city's main revenue generator with regard to the commercial trucking industry. The city is now averaging between 1,000 to 1,200 18 tractor vehicles coming, exporting and importing goods here at Eagle Pass. Now, the question is, what will the city going to do with the licensing and the granting of the presidential permits to a private company for establishing a private railroad bridge and a private commercial bridge just outside north of the city limits in the Seco Mines area. So what would the city, or should the city do with regard to its 50% revenues coming in from the bridges, and it will soon have competition from a private industry? Let's start with Ms. Wakasis.
Okay. I used to be the chairman for the International Bridge, and more or less back then we were generating around $12 million a year. Two of those $1 million, 2 out of the 12 were actually going into operations, which is payroll, maintenance and all that. Another $2 million will be for service and debt, which is paying the debt of the second bridge. But that's no longer the case because it has already been paid off. And the rest, which was around $6 to $8 million, were contributed to the city of Eagle Pass. So that revenue is a very, very important revenue because I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to try to explain it very, very simple. When you have, let's say, a budget of $18 million, and you say that $8 million went from the bridge system to help the city on those $18 million, now we have $10 million, right, to cover our expenses, to cover our budget. And then we have some money from, let's say, the room and tax that is charged here, and then we have the 1% from the sales tax that the state government allows you. Let's say that $1 million is contributed for each of those. So now we have $8 million. So those $8 million are there. Now we need to calculate, the property values against that, and that's how we get the tax rate. So when people complain, like Mr. Hanson was saying, about the taxes, well, that's part of the situation. Because if we were able to say in a perfect world that we have bridges and a lot of money coming in, maybe we don't have to charge any taxes at all, you see? But now we create the tax rate because we're short on the money that we're receiving through the outside, and whatever money we don't have needs to be computed so that we can get the tax rate, and then we get the tax bill around October of every year. I used to be the tax assessor collector. So you get the tax bill, and then that's how the city is able to complete, their expenditures for the budget. That's the way it works. So in a perfect world, I would probably put a lot of businesses which are called enterprise funds, and these enterprise funds will fund all the city's budget, and then we won't have to pay any taxes. That's in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world. But we want to make sure, that whenever the county was actually given this private permit to a company, well, that's why we need collaboration. Because maybe the county didn't want to run it, but maybe the city would. And that will create, more benefits to the citizens, not only of the county, but also the city. And this will create, better taxes for the people. But now, when we go and give this permit to a private group, guess who's going to be winning?
Not us.
Not us. Exactly. So that's what we need to make sure that we understand. If we don't understand those issues, then we're going to be able to actually move forward, but paying a little bit more taxes, because maybe this third bridge is actually going to come and remove some of the revenues from our first and second bridge. You see? Exactly. So now that's the time. Thank you.
What would you recommend the city, what steps it should take to be able to compete with those private bridges that are coming?
I feel like good leadership is needed at this point in time. We need a good lobbying team to try to get that across and focus on our bridge expansion, and that should be our priority. Execute, try to get a good lobbying team, and try to get that presidential approval.
The pending presidential permit amendment that the city has in Washington, D.C. That should be hopefully approved in time this spring.
So that's where we need good leadership and execution.
All right. Now, we'll go to our city council candidates. We'll go to City Councilman Mr. Diaz. What would you do or recommend the city should do to take or to compete with these new bridges coming into the city?
One of the steps that the city has already taken is to
to develop an economic impact study that is independent from the economic impact study that we've received from the private investor. Through that economic impact study, we're able to analyze the impact to the community that's going to have, both positive and negative. So as we potentially lose bridge revenue, we need to expand our view of what revenue looks like. As we expand the boundary lines of our city and making sure that our city grows, that means more people, more tax base, more sales tax coming into our businesses, right? We have businesses on the north side of town that continue to suffer. We have people in the middle part of town that continue to talk about the congestion on Bibb Street, right? We've been wanting expansion beyond the city, what we currently have at this moment. So I think that expanding northward and making sure there are businesses on the north, businesses like Wagon Wheel and places along Del Rio Boulevard that are already there, are already well established, making sure that we have growth and opportunity for all parts of our city and expanding our view of what progress looks like.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diaz. And now we'll turn to Mr. Utesi. What would you recommend that the city, what steps should take to be able to compete with these two private bridges coming in the near future?
So about an hour ago, I mentioned buying local, right? Just imagine if this was a year ago, we've all been buying local. We would have already created more revenue for the city. But as far as competition or changes, we should not be afraid, because the only thing that is constant is change. And what can we do about it? Well, first, I mentioned to you earlier about buying local. Second thing is attracting more people to come in. I also mentioned this earlier. So imagine if this a year or 2 years ago, we attracted people. We can, there's more properties, there's more work, there's more of something in many areas here in Eagle Pass. That would also create more revenue for the city. I don't think there is one single solution to what will happen with our revenue with the Bridge 1 and Bridge 2. It will go down. But if the city grows, it will balance it out. Or the growth in the city will probably even exceed our reliance on the revenue that we're getting from the bridge. Having said that, I'm also pleased to announce, I don't know if you all know, that Governor Abbott, in his State of the State address to the Texas legislature, he also addressed the urgency of lowering property taxes and increasing homestead exemption from $100,000 to $140,000. So there is a statewide effort to do this, and I think we should not think of raising our property taxes here because we are losing revenue from the bridge. We should think of something else. And if we can't balance both, I think we should reduce government expenditure and not increase our taxes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Utesi. All right. We're going to skip question number 5.
Is it too bad?
Oh, no, we already covered it.
Oh,
It was regarding the bridge. It was regarding the bridge. That's not too bad. There's no such thing as a bad bridge. All right. The last question was from one of our members here in the audience. We want to thank you for that good question. One of the key issues here is transportation. As Eagle Pass is growing, our thoroughfares, our city street, for instance, the infamous Bibb Avenue, there's a lot of traffic, and it's taking much longer now to be able to go through that street to reach one side of town to the other, and that is the busiest intersection, Main and Dead Avenue. But other transportation projects that we have, such as Loop 480. We've had Loop 480 for over 10 years, and it's only half complete. Unfortunately, we did not have the political power in Austin to get that fully completed. However, TxDOT has already approved the funding to complete Loop 480, starting, I believe, next year. And but in addition to that, the city just completed a draft of a master thoroughfare plan that is being handled by our city planning department and metropolitan planning organization, and the city hired some consultants. I attended that presentation, and it's a very good plan. But what I did notice that's short of is that it only incorporates the city. And so north of Loop Veterans Boulevard and north of Eagle Pass, like Seco Mines, and north of Loop 480, it does not incorporate what the county is planning. Montgomery County is actually also planning to have major economic development in the northern part of the county, particularly with regard to these two international bridges that the county has obtained presidential permits for. They have big plans to develop the international airport. They recently received a $500,000 grant to continue improving that. And they have great plans for doing more residential, multi-use real estate developments, industrial parks, and so forth. But what I noticed was that the city's the draft of the master thoroughfare plan is not incorporating what the county is doing. It seems like the two entities are not collaborating with each other. And you can't plan the future growth of our infrastructure without all the governmental entities speaking to each other. So the question is, what would you do as a candidate or as a city council or mayor to pursue the completion of Loop 480 as well as improving the infrastructure of our community? Let's start with Mr. Diaz.
So I actually serve I'm the representative for the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and through my job on that, I'm able to work. We actually have Judge Abdul sitting on that board as well, and along with our current mayor, we're working to develop the planning organization for the entire region. Right, transit is at the center of what we do, right? As we continue to grow, if we do not plan strategically on how we will be connected to each other, the issues that we already have, like such as, one of the biggest ones I hear is main and bid, right? Main and bid continues to be an issue. And I think that there's a lot that goes into transit. For one, we already have a city ordinance that requires truck routes to travel outside of our city. I would advocate for harsher enforcement of that and making sure that we continue to follow that. Going back to our issue on collaboration, I think collaboration is essential. A big part of why this job is a nonpartisan job is because we need collaboration at every single level of government. We need collaboration with the person sitting next to us, even when we don't like them sometimes. We need collaboration at the state level, at the federal level. Continue to work as elected officials transition in and out. Our residents are the same ones, right? We need to make sure that we continue to advocate for Loop 480, as you mentioned. Like, this is a project that, it would get put on the Texas Department of Transportation list as funded, and then it would get taken off. and then it would get put on, and then it would get taken off. That requires a lot of advocacy, a lot of consistent effort, and a lot of concentrated effort around thinking, what does transportation and connectivity look like for a better Maverick County? I'm here to serve the residents of Eagle Pass, the city of Eagle Pass, but I have to understand that Eagle Pass operates within the county of Maverick, and so we have to be connected. We have to collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diaz. And now we'll ask Mr. Utesi, what would you do for there to be completion of Loop 480 and other infrastructure projects in the city of Eagle Pass and Maverick County?
Mr. Elias Diaz here, I think, given an answer that has more information that I can possibly give you. But one thing is for sure, if you're waiting for federal and state funding, you better wait, right? It's not easy. Collaboration, meetings, all that. If you're not a priority, if our county is not a priority, then it will not get done right away. So in the meantime though, we can help our community in many ways that I have described before. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Utesi. And now we'll ask Mr. Aromadez, if you will please let us know what would you do to improve the completion of Loop 480 and other infrastructure projects in the county.
So yes, I also think Mr. Diaz was pretty thorough, but I would like to reaffirm the importance of collaboration with local Maverick County entities and just in general, like we're talking about the city having collaboration with the county, but we also have other investors within the city and outside the city that have land, big potential developments that could be done that we don't know exactly what's their master plan. So maybe even try to incorporate them to help us know where Eagle Pass Maverick County is going, to have a general master plan on how to better develop.
Thank you very much, Mr. Valdez. And now we'll turn to Mr. Jesus Casas. What would you do, sir?
Key point, collaboration. There is no I on the word team. So I don't know if there is some egos out there, trying not to benefit the community. And that's something that we need to look into. We have the mayor, the city council, we have the commissioner's court, we have the county judge, then we have Mr. Eddie Morales at the state level, then we have Tony Gonzalez at the federal level. Then we have ourselves that need to be a good salesmanship, We need to sell this project to whoever is gonna give us the funding. We need to make sure that we tell the state government, hey, we need some funding because money is gonna come in. Nearshoring is here, it's a reality. It's right here, in Mexico, it's right here, on the borders. So we need to sell this project. We need to make sure that if someone at the state level in Austin is not convinced, then we need to create, the collaboration. But if we internally here in Maverick County no nos ponemos de acuerdo, then that's the issue. That's the issue, because if we can form a strong, team without me saying, no, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to do this. No, it's not about me. It's about benefiting the community and making sure that we sell this project to the state level, to the federal level, and of course, we are at the local level, the ones that are more interested in getting this thing done, because or investors, because all the people the trucking companies, everything, that is related to this industry, is asking us to help them out. And that's what we're here for. We're here for gestionar. We need to go and talk to the people, in Austin and make sure, what is it that they need from us as a team so that we can make it happen. Thank you.
We're going to go to question number 8. Question number 8 is, what are your goals regarding the improvements for Highway 57 and Highway 277? We are the largest border community in the United States, Mexico, that does not have a 4-lane highway from the border to the interior, so that our commercial trade can travel more fluidly and easier. And of course, one of the biggest issues has always been Highway 57 from here to Moore, Texas, 98 miles, and Highway 277, which is Highway 277 is going to become, it's been approved by Congress to become an interstate from Laredo through Eagle Pass, Del Rio, all the way up to North Dakota. And that is the Plains to Ports Interstate. Interstate 27 has been designated. Every year, little by little, parts of it are being funded. Soon, in the next 10 years or less, you're going to see Highway 277 from Eagle Pass to Del Rio actually widen to 4 lanes. Okay? Because that's going to be part of Interstate 27. But that continues to affect Eagle Pass trade. We can bring in more trade from Mexico or from Canada or even now the world, because Mexico has opened up its Pacific ports, such as Mazatlan, and they're going to bring it through Eagle Pass, Laredo, Del Rio, and other border cities. But what would you do, what goals would you recommend so that we can have Highway 57 quickly improved to 4 lanes and Highway 277? Let's start with Mr. Utesi. All right. What would you do to get the highway from here to San Antonio or more, and from here to Del Rio?
So if it's a Highway 57, it's within the state, it's going to be a state or tax dot, not problem, but funding. Of course, we want to continue to work with governmental agencies and help them understand that there is a need for these highways to be expanded. You need to talk to the people and maybe take a second look if it's not in their plans yet to make improvements to widen the road. I would surely, like for Highway 57 to get widened. And for 277, if it's going interstate, then that will be a federal funding. So we would have to work with our state representative, talk to them and have them look at the need that we have and a proposal on how it will benefit the community, the city, and how it will bring money, because that's what they want to hear, how it's going to bring revenue when you have some expenses. All right. I think we could start with that, and of course have the attitude that we are very interested in working with them at whatever level we can, participate with.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Uchesi. And now we'll ask Councilman Diaz if he would elaborate on what would he do to improve Highway 57 and 277.
I like Mr. Casas' point from earlier about having to sell our projects, right? We're at the state and federal level. We have to be able to communicate our stories and be able to secure funding in strategic ways as if we were salesmen. I think it's something we don't discuss enough is our medical connectivity. How many people in the audience have had to be in a situation where you had to be transported from Fort Duncan Regional Medical Center to San Antonio? that is the longest ride that you'll ever have to do. If that's the ride that you have to make for a family member, it makes it even harder, right? Our medical connectivity relies on our roads and infrastructure. Because in a community that doesn't have enough healthcare resources, we rely on how fast we can get to San Antonio to be able to get emergency services. We lost people on that road. We continue to lose people on that road from this community because we can't get there safely and we can't get there fast enough. So I think as part of our conversation, we need to talk about that road is not just a road, it's a lifeline for us. And as we mentioned, nos tenemos que poner de acuerdo. We have to be on the same page. We have to make sure that we're talking more and more about what that road means to us. As you continue to talk about growth and expansion for this city and what it means to have private industries come into our community, well, let's use those private industries to push our agendas along. Let's make allyship and partnership with the private industry to make sure that together we can get connected to the rest of Texas. Thank you.
Now we'll ask Mr. Casas if he'll explain what will you do to get Highway 57 through 77 expanded to 4 lanes.
Well, let me just introduce this to you. I'm the type of mentality that states this. If someone has done it, we can get it done. If nobody has done it, we're going to be the first ones to do it. That's the attitude that we need to make. So, how are we going to make this happening, the Highway 57? Well, we need to make sure, like Mr. Elias mentioned, not only the business side of it, which creates a lot of money, for the state and for the government, but we need also to include the medical part of it. We all have gone through medical situations where, someone loses their life, someone, doesn't make it to San Antonio, and that's something that we need to sell. Unfortunately, for the people, in Austin or the federal government, Washington, they might probably not be so much interested in the lives that we lose, and that's fine. If they want to, believe that, that's fine. But here locally, we, the community, suffer, and we understand the pain, that goes through all this situation. So if they want us to sell this project at the economic level, we need to make it happen, and that's all I can say. Thank you very much.
And now we'll hear from Mr. Aaron Valdez.
So I would say first, let's finish Loop 480, have them connect with Highway 57 and 277, and just like they're saying, continuously try to promote it to be done. Thank you.
And now we're going to turn to number 9, Mr. Corpus.
Mr. Calderon,
Yes.
we don't have a break.
Well, we're almost done. We're almost done. We're about to wrap it up.
All right.
Got a few more questions and give you all the closing statement. How's that? But if you want to take a break, we only have it rented here until 7:30. So.
Oh, okay. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Now, question number 9 on the board here is. Yes. Oh, let me tell you what the question is anyway. It says, what steps would you take to expand educational opportunities in Eagle Pass, such as establishing a 4-year university? Let's start with Mr. Diaz.
I think that for one, we have to look at what the expansion of the 4-year university looks like. Fortunately, we've already been able to secure at the state level, through collaboration, we've been able to secure a 4-year university coming to Eagle Pass. I think as we look towards the future, we also have to look at doing high school outreach, making sure that our students want to stay in Eagle Pass, are equipped to stay in Eagle Pass, and want to continue to live here, right? So doing outreach to those students, starting our conceptualization. I've seen the rendering projects, which are part of that city growth that we're developing, right? I've seen the rendering and the design of the school. The school's going to look beautiful, right? We need to make sure that it's full. We need to make sure that we collaborate with our partners at the state level, our educational partners, to make sure that the programming fits the needs of this community. So while we look towards the future, we're looking not just at those 4 years of university, I'm looking at 10 years of what city growth looks like and anticipating what the job market is going to need in 10 years. I'm looking at 20 years when those students are going to be finally graduating and entering our job market, right? I'm looking at the future of our community to make sure that that programming that we're building right now, as the walls are being built, we have to continue to build the programming that's going to be the infrastructure, educational infrastructure for that university, and more than anything, for the future of this community. Thank you.
And now we'll turn to Mr. Utesi. What would you do to expand educational opportunities as well as bringing a four-year university to the place?
Well, I'd like to congratulate the incumbent city council for securing funding for the four-year university. That is quite an accomplishment. Been here 20 years, haven't seen any of that until, right here, hearing it from the person sitting beside me. As far as education, when the funding and the school is built and is open, we will know if this university gets filled up with students. I have a feeling it will do that, but until we see what happens to it, it's all like a forecast. So we need one successful university first, and then offer programs that are useful in this community. And then with that, we can work to offer more degrees for the people here, not having to leave the community and study outside. Because when you study outside, there is, I think, more than 50% chance that you'll stay outside when you leave Eagle Pass because it's a small town. So with that, I think that the support for the university is essential, so people will love it here and people will enroll and fill up the classes, and and the university can start to offer more courses.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Our candidates, we'll ask Mr. Aaron Valdez, what would you do to expand educational opportunities in Eagle Pass and the establishment of a four-year university?
I think this is a huge opportunity for Eagle Pass. It's going to definitely, it's a lot of development that has to be done, library, campus. And with that being said, I personally, when I opened my business with the only solar install company in the region, I've been able to employ engineers, electrical engineers, civil engineers, industrial engineers, and I have continuously had to bring them from out of town. And being able to bring these professions to Eagle Pass really struck a nerve when I realized the lack of employment for professionals within our community. So this university is really a huge opportunity for something that I keep on mentioning, which is how I left Eagle Pass, but actually came back and am now representing Eagle Pass on all of City, Texas. So this is a huge opportunity for people to stay in Eagle Pass and grow within our community.
We'll ask Mr. Casas, what would you do?
Well, first I'm going to make a statement. I really, really feel very disappointed that the other candidates that didn't assist today didn't have the time to be present with the community. I believe you have touched a lot of topics.
They have their reasons.
That's fine, and I want to thank the ones that show up. So, yes, you can dress the table, you can put the utensils, you can put everything so nice, the cups and everything. But if there's no meal, there is no, way that that table has a good use. So I'm saying this because we need to support the local education with the higher education, different options, that we have, like the South Texas College, the Sul Ross University. So we need to support all that. And we need to make sure that when people get ready, like when you dress the table, then after that, we follow up with a good, job opportunity that can show that those new professionals don't go out, but stay here, produce here. Money stays here, pro-local, right? So we need to make sure that those that new generation of people stay here and develop people passing to a better, greater city. And that's why we need the support, of everybody here to make sure that that university is happening. And thank you also to the person or the entities that donated that land to make that happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Casas. This is one of our questions from one of our members here today. We appreciate your questions. And the question is not on the board, so I'll go ahead and read it to you. In March of 2023, Governor Greg Abbott declared a state emergency regarding the Operation Lone Star. He launched Operation Lone Star in March of 2023 to combat immigration, to combat drugs, and combat crime in the state of Texas. And about 11 months later, in January 10th of 2024, he seized Shelby Park from the city of Eagle Pass, and has still possession and use of Shelby Park. Everybody from Austin to Washington, D.C. have visited Shelby Park, and they've come and they have buried their flags in Shelby Park. And the city of Eagle Pass has not had full possession and use and enjoyment of its 47-acre municipal park. The question that the local resident posed was, what is your position regarding the recovery or requesting the state to return Shelby Park to the city of Eagle Pass and its owners? We'll start with Mr. Valdez.
So Shelby Park is, I hold Shelby Park pretty close and pretty dear. I held my first Earth Day event right after COVID. And after that event as well, again in Shelby Park, and I then had to go into a sports complex, and then eventually to Plaza San Juan. With that being said, at the moment, we have to follow whatever state law is applied to our city. My priority is Eagle Pass, and it's always going to be Eagle Pass, and voice what Eagle Pass needs. I will listen to our citizens and voice it to the best of my ability. But we do have to follow whatever state law requires.
Now we'll go to Mr. Casas. What steps would you do to request the state to return Shelby Park to the city of Eagle Pass and its taxpayers?
First of all, I will say this. We need to abide by the state law, like Mr. Valdez is mentioning, because I believe we are all law-abiding citizens. But the situation here is that we also have an issue with the community because so many activities, so many, different holidays and different activities happen during this that it is very important to the community. So we need to balance this, in a way where we can find the best solution. We're not here to make the problem bigger. We're here to create a solution, and that solution maybe in the eyes of Austin is different than the eyes of the people here in Eagle Pass. So we need to get together, making sure that they understand our views, making sure that we understand their views, and that way, we can find the best solution. That's my position. Thank you.
Then we'll turn now to our city council candidates. We'll ask Councilman Elias Diaz, what steps would you ask to request the state to return Shelby Park to its taxpayers?
Mr. Calderon, I feel like it's so important for us to contextualize this situation. We are dealing with hundreds of years of U.S. imperialism that has had an impact on world economies, that has shifted migration patterns. We've had decades of congressional inaction when it comes to immigration issues. We're dealing with our state government and our federal government. And as a city council person, and you've mentioned it before, we've had all kinds of people come. We've had Elon Musk come. We've had President Trump come. We've had so many congressmen on both sides of the aisle that have left and that have put their mark on that park and have left without a single piece of legislation. At the city level, it's my responsibility to communicate to our federal representatives the needs of this community in a nonpartisan way, right? Because as things go back to the White House and it's being debated on the congressional floor, I don't think that they're talking about Eagle Pass. They draw their swords and they're talking about red and white, red and blue, and they're not thinking about us. They're not thinking about that park. They're not thinking about the park where, as Mr. Valdez mentioned, we had that beautiful event, or where our kids were playing in the park. It's our responsibility to continue to advocate, but also to do it within the context of knowing how much is at stake. It's a poor community. We're dependent at this moment on OLS funds. We did not have the infrastructure that was needed to support this level of migration. I think that there's a lot more than what the city council can do at this level to be able to actually get that part back. But I'm willing to have those conversations. Thank you.
And then we'll ask Mr. Utesi, what steps did you do to ask the state to return Shelby Park to Eagle Pass?
Okay, I'd like to begin with talking about just months ago when our former president refused to guard our borders and even had conflict with our own governor about how to protect our borders. Governor Abbott and even Governor DeSantis sent troops and support to protect our border. So I compare this to a not so long ago situation too. I work at the hospital, and when we had COVID at its height, where a lot of people are getting sick, a lot of people were admitted, we were postponing surgeries. Just anything that is not emergency we would stop it. So I think, and I hope that the seizure, call it seizure, or maybe it's real seizure of the park, is going to be temporary. If Governor Abbott did not protect our border and let our previous president do what he wanted with the border, we would probably be a different city right now. Different, I don't know, good, bad, but different. So I think we should, we should let him assess the situation while we always attempt to communicate, like set periods. It could be every 3 months, every 6 months, and reassess the situation and talk and put our heads together and see if it's time for Eagle Pass to get back to Shelby Park. That's all.
Thank you very much. We're running a little bit of time, so we're going to ask one last question. This question is also from a member of the audience. We want to thank you for these valuable questions. And that is that the city of Eagle Pass takes too long or very long periods to hire its professional staff or its department heads. For instance, it took the city 20 months to hire a city manager. For 20 months, the city of Eagle Pass had an interim city manager. And then we have a police chief vacancy that the city council and the city manager have worked together to appoint an interim police chief. But still, there is not a permanent police chief at this moment. We have a economic development director position that's been open since May of 2024, when the previous title holder announced he was leaving to another city. And today we do have an interim economic development director and a very, very competent person, a professional. But the city council, or really, this is not the decision of the city council, it's the decision of the city manager. The city council only hires its professional people like the city attorney, the city manager, the city engineer. I think it consults with the city manager on the selection of a police chief. But pretty much all the other positions are the responsibility of our city manager. Our city manager is like the quarterback of any football team. So the audience says, we keep spinning our wheels, we keep soliciting applications for these openings. People apply from all over the United States, and the city doesn't take action. And here we are with interim title holders. And for instance, they says, during this period, we had an interim city manager when the city had the 57 music fests. And of course, we know that it was a disaster for the city of Eagle Pass. It came out to a loss of $2.3 million. The city council has ordered a forensic audit of that particular event, but it too was part of this delays of hiring professional, competent people to help the city of Eagle Pass administration. And the question is, what would you do to ensure that the city administration or the city council doesn't take long to fill these professional positions? Mr. Casas.
Okay. In the past, of being, the supervisor, it seems to me like that's more or less like the time that you have to move yourself and not months, or years into taking action. So HR starts the process. HR receives the applications. HR's, I believe, in the way of the city, has like a committee, a hiring committee. So that hiring committee probably is going to be like a 3-person. We used to do it back in the hospital district, I believe. So these are key positions. If you leave these key positions open for so long, well, then we have, Festival 57 situations, you see, where there are so many questions out there, there's no transparency out there, and we need to make sure that this works in an efficient way. So by not acting efficiently at the government level, then we create, or as a result, we have these type of situations where, there is money that is lost. Well, not money, millions of dollars, being lost. Then we have different people making decisions when they don't really have the, how can I say, the full responsibility, because we create interim positions. I mean, if that person is actually wanting to stay with the position, I mean, it shouldn't take more than probably a month to decide on that. But not months, because this affects the people. Every bad decision that is being made at the council level with the administration, guess who pays for that? Taxpayers. So that's my position on that. How can I make it better? Just to, do the hiring position. If you know 2 weeks ahead of time that someone is leaving, start the process, getting the word out there, start interviewing, and then at the very end, have the committee decide. That's it. That shouldn't take more than a month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now we're here for Mr. Valdez. What steps would you do to make sure the city doesn't delay hiring?
Mr. Calderon, you hit it right on the money. I probably even took it off of one of my posts. It's you hire a city manager, you hire the quarterback. You hire the GM, and you stay at it. You make sure they make the right decision. You see how the Cowboys are doing, because Jerry Jones always tries to get involved. Let them work. Let them do the job. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we'll ask Mr. Utesi, what steps would you take to make sure the city hires professional individuals on a timely basis?
Well, thank you for that question. In my opinion, if the person that is hired by the city is doing a good job, then we are to leave him or her alone. But if the person that we hire is not doing as expected, then we ought to have a meeting with this person and know what is the reason for leaving a position 6 months, 9 months, a year, or longer without hiring a permanent person or keeping an interim position for this vacancy. So until we know what is the reason behind for not hiring the right person, it could be the salary you're offering is too low, right? We won't know until we know, until we ask. It could be the position is hard to find qualified candidate, that apply for this position. It could be a lot of things, but one sure thing we won't know is if we leave the person not doing its job and not do anything about it. Thank you.
I don't need to repeat whatsoever. Would you please let us know, what would you do, sir, to make sure the city doesn't delay in hiring professional and competent, qualified people for the city positions?
Yes, so I strongly agree with the sentiment of the city of Eagle Pass that we need to improve government efficiency. We need to hire especially at our city manager level, we need to hire as soon as possible. Right? But it's really important, and I think that a lot of people touched on it today. It's really important for us to contextualize, because it is not as simple as putting in that job posting and saying, we got 2 weeks and we're going to fill it in 1 month. Does anybody here have a position in management? A leadership position? How difficult is it to fill a front desk position? How difficult, once you start to think about it, how difficult is it if you like a licensed insurance agent, right? You require a skill, and you require a certification, and so it gets a little bit more difficult. If you require a bachelor's, that gets a little bit more difficult. If you require a master's, that gets really difficult. There is not enough human capital in Eagle Pass. Sometimes we have to import some of these positions. Sometimes we have to negotiate. Sometimes these contracts take up to 1 year to be able to come to fruition. And sometimes from the choices that we have and the choices that are available, if it's someone that's homegrown, we're always going to have that community backlash. For one reason or another, someone in our community is going to jump up and say, not him. And I'm telling you from personal experience because that's a situation that I'm in. And let me tell you, I have been a part of Maverick County Hospital District for about 8 years. I've had the pleasure, and Chairman Valdez just spoke on it a little bit. It was a very brief answer. And he said, you hire, actually, it was a football analogy, I can't repeat it. But what he meant was, you hire and then you let them do their job, right? Part of what our job as City Council is to make sure that we take our time to have the best candidate that we have available, and then we trust them to make that decision. We don't trust them blindly. We don't allow them to do whatever it is that they want, but we put enough trust in them so they're able to make competent, qualified decisions. It's not easy to hire at any level. Not for front desk, not for professionals, definitely not for a city manager. 1 month turnaround, that's not a realistic time. It's going to take us a lot more time. And if the city of Eagle Pass requires commitment, transparency, and an all-around, well-qualified individual, that's going to take us a little bit of time. Now, what I do want to reinforce is that we need to take care of the good people that we have. We need to build leadership pipelines so that we can grow leadership, and our leadership gets to grow from the ranks up. I believe in promoting people from within so that we don't have to wait to import and bring people from out of town. We have quality people here. We need to invest in their leadership, invest in their capacity building, invest in our leaders, and make sure that we give them the tools that they need to be able to succeed. Thank you.
Now we are come to the conclusion. First and foremost, on behalf of the sponsoring host of this event, the Eagle Pass Water Coalition, the Eagle Pass Digital Arts Society, the Elm Creek Park Committee, and the Eagle Pass Business Journal. It's been our sincere pleasure in hosting this first public forum in the city of Eagle Pass. Hopefully it will serve as a standard for future discussions. There are 2 more planned. On April 2nd, there is a mayoral debate in this same room. We hope to have, by that time, Ms. Monica J. Cruz to join us, join Mr. Casas and Mr. Valdez for that mayoral debate. And then also on April the 12th, we have the town hall, similar to this, but a little bit more lively than the standard format here. We're trying to bring this for the benefit of the community and the voters. In closing, we're going to allow each of the candidates to give a 2-minute closing statement as to why the citizens and voters of the city of Eagle Pass should elect them for the position that they're running for. So we'll start with Mr. Jesus Casas, running for mayor. Mr. Casas.
Thank you, Mr. I believe there is a song for Elvis Presley that says, a little less conversation, a lot more action. So that's what I mean. That's why I'm here. I believe truly that the people of Eagle Pass deserves not a change, because some other people have used that phrase in the past. A real change where the person that's been elected works towards, the lawyers use a lot of this wording, Mr. Calderon, I believe in the best interest. That's what they use. Well, here I am working in the best interest of the community. So I really appreciate your vote. If someone wants to ask me any questions, after the meeting, feel free to ask me any questions you have. I'm open, I'm transparent. I have integrity, I have a business. I have real estate investments, so I understand businesses very well, and I understand, economic development. But at the end of the day, we need to work
and be able to take care of the vulnerable groups. We need to take care, of the community needs, the taxpayers' needs, and making sure that that money is being spent right, because by being spent right, we can create so many things and we can do better at the city level. And yes, I want to collaborate with the different entities, with the Eagle Pass Independent School District Board of Directors. I would like to work with the Commissioner's Court too, with the county judge. We would like to work with the Maverick County Hospital District. And I do believe that the council people that is going to be sitting, in the next year or two, we need to work in a way where we can all be one. And yes, I might differ from some people in the way of thinking, but that doesn't mean that I don't know how to work. I think I'm a team player, and at the end of the day, we need to work towards the best interest of the community. Thank you very much for having me here today.
And next, we'll hear from Mr. Aaron Valdez, running for mayor of Eagle Pass. Mr. Valdez.
So at this point, we still have till April 22nd when we can start casting the votes. I'm not going to ask for your vote right now. I'm just going to ask to really fully invest in getting to know all the candidates and the positions they are running, what they've done, what they're doing, and what they want to do. Just like we invest in our federal, state elections, the most important is right here at home, our local elections. Let's invest in getting to know our candidates. Like Mr. Costa said, we're an open book. I'm an open book. I have an open store policy. Just feel free to reach out. Get to know us. Really fully invest into this election. I'm personally going to be, or want to be here for these next 8 years as your mayor. I am fully invested in Eagle Pass and know its potential. Thank you.
And now we'll go to our city council candidates. We'll start with Councilman Elias Diaz. Mr. Diaz.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am asking for your support to continue the work that has already been done over the past 5 years. I have a proven track record of getting things done, and getting things done in a way that benefits the community. Over the past 5 years, we've secured funding for domestic violence initiatives. We've secured funding for teen mental health. We secured funding for people with disabilities. We secured funding for civic engagement. We secured funding for all of these types of programming to improve the public health of our community. And as we continue to improve on that and to build on what the future looks like, I'm looking to expand on the platform that we've already built on before. I'm looking to add, you've seen my platform in action, and I'm asking you to support it one more time as we continue to move forward. I can tell you that any single one of these gentlemen, if they are elected, I will be able to work with them. I've worked with the majority of them in the past, and I will continue to work with them if they are elected. Sometimes we reach public office, and as Mr. Garza said, there are some egos in our teams, right? And they're not able to work within teams. And at the end of the day, the community is looking at us and they're saying, why is this project taking us so long? It's because the relationships that we form while we're on council or while we're in any form of government, our primary relationship should be with the citizens of Eagle Pass. And while we are having our differences and we might differ and disagree, and anybody that knows me knows that I will disagree with you. At some point, I will disagree with you, and I will voice my disagreement. And we will both walk out of that disagreement knowing something about each other. So you don't have my commitment that I will not disagree with any of these gentlemen. You do have my commitment that if any of them are elected, and if I am elected, I will continue to work with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm here from Mr. Futesi.
I will start my closing statement by giving thanks to Mr. Ricardo Calderon and for everyone that came and attended this morning. So, my entire adult life, I've always functioned as an advocate for my patient. That is all 30 years of my life. And now I'm using this advocacy to try and advocate, for more people, the city of Eagle Pass. I am for smaller government. I am for state on property taxes or reduction of property taxes. I'm for growth of the community, higher wages, university. And if you take a moment to look me up and see how my patients reviewed me, and if you think you can trust this person, then you can trust me as your city council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jesse. You took part of my thunder there. First and foremost, I do want all of us to, let's give a big round of applause to these 4 candidates who did take the time to be here. The candidates that were not present, we greatly missed you. We understand your reasons for not being able to be here today. We do look forward to having Ms. Cruz at the mayoral debate on April the 2nd. And we do look forward to having Mr. Alberto Rodriguez, Ms. Jessica Ray Ramon, and Mr. Jorge Sierra at the town hall meeting on April the 12th. Our doors are open. This is for you. This is for the people of Eagle Pass. And this has been really a dynamic and exciting discussion of the issues and meet the candidates. The candidates will be here for a few minutes to meet and greet with you, if answer any questions you may have. But I also want to thank you, all of you who took the time to attend this meeting. It's been a great success. I see here probably more than 75 to close to 100 people. I congratulate each and every one of you. And to those of you who were not able to be here in person, we do thank you for watching this on the Eagle Pass Business Journal Facebook page live, and also it will be on the Eagle Pass Digital Art Society YouTube channel very soon, and you'll be able to review this. I would like for you all to stand up. Let's give a big round of applause to the candidates who are present here today. Standing ovation to each and every one of y'all for taking the time to be here. Dr. Calderon, your moderator for this evening, thank you. I've had a wonderful time, and we've heard so many great ideas here today, and we look forward for you to joining us at our mayoral debate on April the 7th. Thank you, and good night. Have a great evening.